Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you a really awesome early concept of a Void 3.0 build that I am currently making. It's pretty much complete. It's just basically going to get the finishing touches next season when we finally get a slew of new mods and new abilities for Voidwalker. But the main concept of the build is there, and judging by the clip that you saw at the start of this video, it works extremely well already. So there's a few things I want to get out of the way here. Weapons. Most of these are completely optional. The reason why I have chosen Ruinous Effigy for this build though is for the sole purpose of being unkillable. The Void energy balls, the spheres that you get from killing enemies with this weapon, has extreme healing factor, and it also gives you incredible DR, and it does a lot of damage. So basically, amongst the ability spam that you'll get from this build, you can become unkillable if you somehow don't have abilities. It's basically like a panic option, a panic sphere that will keep you alive long enough to get abilities back to continue the chain of infinite abilities. But all of the weapons are optional. I'm using a rocket launcher because Void is a very powerful rocket launcher. Lasting Impression is powerful, and it's just nice to have. You can use a sword, you can use whatever you want. It doesn't even need to be Void. It's just because I'm using Font of Might, so I like to have, you know, things that actually match that and can benefit from it. But it's optional. And I have a blinding launcher because blinding nades are very powerful, and I just like using double special for everything, so I am using double special here as well. Another thing I want to mention is the actual mods that I'll be using for this build are completely, you know, easy access mods. I'm not using any artifact mods, I'm not using any element based mods except from Radiant Light for stats. Mainly because a lot of things are going to change next season. All the artifact mods are obviously getting refreshed, so I don't want to put those in here in case none of them are actually present next season, and I might build around something that isn't going to exist. And then I also don't want to do element-based things because there's going to be a ton of new mods in Witch Queen that are probably going to be element-based. And I don't want to focus so heavily on an element-based mod now and then find out it's trash next season, or there's just a better version of it for a different element or something, you know. So yeah, we're just going to be using very, very easy access passive mods that are just going to get the build rolling regardless, and it's going to be great. So getting into the build, we are going to start off with the subclass. Now we are using Voidwalker. Of course, next season this won't be like this, but I'm using Voidwalker now because it's my favorite Void subclass. It is extremely powerful. Bungie buffed this thing above and beyond. It is phenomenal. I mean, it was great before they buffed it. It was just very underrated, and now it's just dumb. It's absolutely stupid. So we have the Super, which has a base cooldown of 9 minutes and 16 seconds. And with 100 int, which you will want these stats, it has a cooldown of 7 minutes. Now, if you saw the first clip in the video, it is not going to be 7 minutes. It is going to be a very, very fast cooldown, even without weapon kills, because we are using Nezarec Sin, and that means that any Void kill, it doesn't even need to be weapon kills, will give us faster regen rate for all of our abilities, including our Super. So this goes from 7 minutes to as fast as you saw it in the first clip, which is about a minute. Mantle Battle Harmony does the same thing, except you need weapon kills, whereas Nezarec Sin just needs any kill, so Nezarec Sin is technically better when you're using a Void setup. Now the main factor of this, besides the Super, which is basically the goal of the build, is to ability spam your way to the Super, use the Super, destroy things, and then ability spam your way to the Super again. But the main factor of this all coming together is actually this right here. Arguably my favorite ability of any subclass ever. And this is Dark Matter. So basically what this does is when you get Void ability kills, it gives you health, melee, grenade, and class ability energy. And that is a lot of energy. It's basically like Devour, but you get all of your abilities as well. And again, judging by the first clip, you could see I was practically unkillable. Every ability gives me basically full health, and because I have abilities all the time, this will be permanently procced. I'll just be popping this every second. It's great. So that's the subclass out the way. You just have your melee, you have your handheld supernova or your regular grenade, you got an incredible super, and you have a very, very powerful neutral game ability, which is just awesome. Now, getting into the mods, it's a bit jumbled right now because of, you know, how I wanted it. But we're going to start off with the helmet. Nezarec Sin, of course, void damage kills, increase ability, energy recharge rate, and that does work for everything. That is your rift, your melee, your grenade, and your super. That's everything. For this, I kept it simple. We got elemental armaments, so I can make wells with Ruinous and my other weapons. Now, the main reason why I've gone so hard on well mods is because when you pick up a well that matches your subclass type, it gives you ability energy for everything, except from super, I'm pretty sure, but that's besides the point. We have Nezarec Sin for that. So yeah, basically I will be using my abilities, making wells, or using my weapons in this case, making wells, picking up the wells, and getting ability energy back for free. That's without Nezarec Sin even activating at that point. So we're getting ability energy from wells, we're getting ability energy from this, we're getting ability energy from dark matter. It's just, it's already insane, and I haven't even got to the rest of the stuff. So next up we have melee Wellmaker, which means I make wells on a melee kill. Now, how these mods work is it spawns one well per ability. So I'll use my melee charge, and it will guarantee me a well. It spawns a well every single time I use a charge. So I'll use a charge, spawn a well. Let's say I pick up the well and I get my charge back. If I melee another enemy right after that, and it uses a charge, it'll spawn a new well. So, theoretically, if we can get our abilities back fast enough, we can basically have an infinite source of elemental wells, which is extremely valuable for a build that revolves around getting your abilities back instantly. Then I have Radiant Light here for stats. Now again, you do want these stats. We want our melee back as much as possible, because honestly, I feel like I use this more than my grenade. I do like having 100 dis, but 100 dis is pretty useless for something that's going to be coming back instantly. And then I also have, of course, you know, handheld supernova. I like to keep as a panic option. Melee can't really be used as a panic option, but your handheld supernova can. So I like to just store my handheld supernova, and it won't take 1 minute 49 seconds to come back. Don't worry, it comes back very fast. So I like having these stats for Rift and just survivability, very fast supers with Nezarecs, and then melees to constantly cool down my grenade with. And I mean, you already saw the first clip, it works very well, so yeah. Then I have Font of Might. Of course, you know, using these elemental wells for just ability energy wasn't enough. I need weapon damage as well. We are using Royal Entry, which is a Void rocket launcher, and we're using Ruinous Effigy. So increasing their damage by 25% is a very nice bonus. It's basically just free damage. It won't work with my blinding launcher, but that's okay, it doesn't really matter. But it does work with the Void weapons I have on, so it's basically just like a free 25% damage buff. Since I'm not using Mantle, I kind of wanted a bit of damage just to keep my weapons in line with what I'm used to, and that's just a nice way to do it. And then I have Elemental Ordnance, which spawns elemental wells when I get grenade kills, so we are spawning them with melee, weapons, and grenades now. And since we're spamming melees and grenades constantly to get our super, yeah, we're going to be getting a lot of wells, so that's awesome. And then I have Special Finisher here just in case I run out of ammo, since I am using double special. I never need this, but if I do somehow need it, it's there as an option. It's not like using a third of my super is going to affect anything, because I get it back pretty quickly, so that's great. And of course, the rest of the mods are up to you. They do not matter whatsoever. I've personally been cucked by the fact that I have to use so many int mods. But if you can reach these stats without having to use 3 int mods, you're in the clear. You could sort in as much as you want. Honestly, all of these mods are optional. Like, you don't even need Radiant Light if you don't want to. You can see here, you know, I mean, I want the stats. But if you can get the stats without needing Radiant Light, or you just don't care about melee as much as me, and you want to go for Discipline, then you won't need Radiant Light. You can free up that slot. But yeah, those are the mods. Very straightforward, very simple, very easy to acquire. All of these can be acquired from the Season of the Chosen War table. None of these are actually from anywhere else. I'm pretty sure they're all from that table, so they're very easy to get. And if you're watching this in Witch Queen, I'm not sure if that table's gone. The table might get removed in Witch Queen, so be careful of that. But yeah, that's the build. I'll have a little bit more gameplay in other areas of the game, not the Shattered Throne, just to show you how it performs against smaller groups of enemies and stuff. I'm not going to show this in the Grandmaster or endgame content, because, I mean, it's a trace rifle, a grenade launcher, and a rocket launcher. I don't know about you, but I don't see any of that in here, so I can't use this in GMs, or whatever. But yeah, that's the build. Let me know what you think. Again, this is an early concept of a Void 3.0 build that I'm working on. This will be perfected in February, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think, and adios.